Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek, and today, joining me is my good buddy, Ditaku.
Deepest Ditaku lore. I actually worked at 3 different summer camps. So this is going to be mildly nostalgic for me.
All right.
It's actually my summer. So while, little Snek was, playing things like Command Mission or Beautiful Joe 2 or Breath of Fire 4, I was off in the woods setting things on fire. I'm just going to come out and say it. I learned how to set things on fire really good.
Somehow that seems appropriate. This is Camp...
I was in the Boy Scouts, okay.
No, this is Camp Glaspond, and I just noticed there's like rubber ducks. These do anything if I click them? No. Rubber ducks do not do anything if you click them. This is a horror game I found on itch. I don't really remember the synopsis, even though I literally just downloaded it last night, so that just proves how terrible my memory is. Let's get started!
I can only imagine summer camp and monster. Bad things.
Probably.
Bad things are going to happen.
Camp Glaspond, the site of a brutal massacre in which you, a once bright-eyed counselor, are the only survivor. It's been 20 years since the slaughter, 20 years of coping with trauma at the bottom of a bottle. You briefly found happiness a few years after the incident, some sobriety, a small marriage, and the birth of a beautiful daughter, Madison. It was never meant to last, and your partner died when Madison was only 2 years old. A cursed life thrust upon you by the depravity of a serial killer, and so you turn to the liquid companion once more. 18 years later, you're on the road with Madison to take her to nursing school. The nightmares have begun to surface again, but at least Madison will be far away from you as your mind unravels, haunted by the events of the past.
Wait, hold up. Oh, okay, I'm like, wait a second. Is she like 2 for like 18 years? That's incredibly unfortunate. Father, when can I, go to be 3?
When
I'm
may
sorry.
I age? No, my dear, you must stay 2 years old forever, said no parent ever. Like, this is also,
I can only assume this happened 20 years ago, and Madison is a recent addition to your life. And
like, the timeline here is a little fuzzy. Like, it starts off, like, it's in 20 years since the killing, which is an independent event. 20 years of coping with the trauma. So for 20 years, we were an alcoholic. But then we get married.
Oh, wait, no,
2 years later, the daughter
she's going nursing school. Okay, so she is in her late teens then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
all right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
she should be. Like, she's 18 now. But like the timeline of this is a little fuzzy. Are we like in our 50s, or does some of this timeline overlap? Like, I think there's kind of a bit of a linguistic problem we're running into that we need some
Oh, snap.
clarifications on.
Oh, snap. Professor. I was just informed of something by a ranger.
What's that?
Well, this is not going to be a thing, but this will also show you, how long it takes for a Mr. Snek, I'm sorry, Professor Snek to actually, put out a video.
Oh.
But it is just now been informed to me that it is, in fact, actually a very momentous day. It is, in fact, actually the beef anniversary of a one Beef of Flam 1.
Oh, dad.
Being brought to North America, yes.
All right.
So everyone give a warm welcome and, say thank you to Capcom. And then also yell at Capcom for not bringing Beef of Flam 1 over to PCs.
Maddie.
Yell at them.
Where are you? Oh.
And also, yes, please return to, yelling at your daughter.
Oh, dang.
Because she did not bring you back, the adult juice.
I'm such an idiot. Gotta find Madison. Like,
I gotta bring...
Are we already drunk? Are we already intoxicated? Were we drunk driving?
I hope so. I sincerely hope so.
What's this?
I hope this is a case where, like, you get, do we have, like, a booze meter or something you have to keep boozed up?
I hope 25 miles an hour. It's like, what, the tree fell on? Oh, the tree fell on the freaking road.
Oh.
So, like, we just, like...
Wait.
I didn't see it till the last second. Well, it is pretty foggy, to be fair, so maybe... No, maybe we are sober.
Oh
Maybe
no.
this was outside of our control.
Snack, are we in Silent Hill?
Yeah, I mean, there is a non-zero chance of that. Can I run? My idea of running is apparently a barely perceptibly faster power walk.
Making my way downtown.
Why am I getting a slasher sting? I didn't even see anything apart from the light flickering.
Oh, you see, Snack. That is all you needed to see.
Roadwork next 3 miles. Why would Madison, like... I know the actual answer. She probably didn't leave under her own power. But it's like, if this were a normal situation, it's like, why would she not be here? Like, really?
What if she was taken by the red tree people?
Obviously.
Into the town. And then she's gonna be forced to work at a cafe.
Glaspond.
And
That's
move
not
boxes.
possible. I ran so far.
In the end, it doesn't really matter. Sorry.
I was thinking it. Why does every one of these lights go out as I approach and play a slasher chord? Maddie?
Man, this is just like our last run through Barony, just complete darkness.
I was about to say, you think I'd be used to it? Actually, I see pretty good in the dark. I'm actually photosensitive. Bright lights are the thing that I don't care for very much. Oh, yay, flashlight. Rugged, long-lasting battery. That's a first.
Now we officially are in Doom 3. I'm sorry, Doom did not need to become System Shock 2.
Busted radio. No, it didn't need to be anything but Doom. But for some reason, they were desperate to make it like System Shock and Half-Life. It's like, no, that's not what Doom is.
System Shock is really good. I like System Shock. I like, now that I've actually I've seen the Freeman's mind, I can understand why Half-Life is such a big deal. I think it's still overrated as crap, but I'm like, I understand why everyone played it and thought it was good.
Yeah, certainly.
But I'm not going to extend that olive branch to Portal. I'm sorry. My goodwill will only go so far. You guys burn that bridge for me. And you go, come on, Ditaku. It's a good game.
Oh,
no.
I have a crowbar.
Care. Ho, ho, ho.
Why is this... Like, I keep having, like, these random audio cues, and I'm more confused than I am alarmed.
I can't hear it.
Like, it's not even much. It's like I picked up the crowbar and then there was like a bang, like 2 pieces of wood being slammed together. But it's just like, I don't understand. Completely broken. It's empty but freezing cold. So it still has power. That's something. But if it still has power, why are the lights all off? If the fridge is running, fridges require way more power than like electrical lights.
Is it a case where all the lights have been removed, or there was only like?
Well, the bulbs might have blown, but there were definitely bulbs in those light fixtures. It's like a generator.
You know what it?
How do we get this thing cranked up?
Oh man, I didn't realize we were playing Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
Did you see that they added Jaws to that game, by the way?
No, I didn't. That sounds pretty amazing, though. Is there a map where it's in the water? How does that work?
I believe it's just a kind of a case like, you know how Oasis works in Part 5, where he can just like swim through the ground? It just kind of is like that, where she just swims through the ground.
Nice.
Which just begs the question, like, why did they go with Jaws and not a Graboid? That's literally what Graboids do.
Graboids is literally Jaws on land.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. Filled with broken bottles. Like my soul.
I have another confession to make there, Professor.
What's that?
I have only seen the first Tremors film.
I've only seen the first 2, interest of fairness.
I am told by my younger sister, Ichigo, that I am missing out, but I'm like, my experience with franchises like that is that like the first one's the best one, and then it gets like meteorically awful as you go. And I'm like, I I don't know. I don't have it in me to like. I don't like watching bad things, guys. This comes as a shock, I'm sure, but it's just I don't like wasting my time with things I don't like.
Fair. Anything behind the porta-johns? No.
And so, you're like, oh man, Titaku, look, it's Tremors 5. The voyage home. They have to go back in time and help the Tremors get the whales. Like, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck so bad.
But sometimes that's the fun of it. Sometimes you're going into something that's kind of bad, but like that's the charm. Now, that was like when I first saw Willy's Wonderland, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was a rejected FNAF script," and I'm like,
"But here's the thing, though. That's a rejected FNAF script. Also, it had Nick Cage in it. So
also that.
I mean, this is going to be great, but that's just because Nick Cage is
Nick Cage. Yeah. No, the door blended in so much I had to lap the door. Why?
Whoa!
Selfish. But you know what was even more selfish than me? Was you just like screaming at me like that? That was completely uncalled for.
Right. Why are we around a bunch of gimps?
That's an excellent question. Now,
it's not selfish.
If I had to guess...
You know what is selfish? It is selfish? Selfish is like imposing your kink upon me. I don't need to know this stuff.
I'm not interested in like, you know what? If you want to do your thing with consenting adults, hey, be my guest, but leave me out of it.
Exactly.
So, if I had to guess based on context, this guy was one of like a few, like maybe the only one, but a survivor of the serial killer back when the initial killings happened. So now he has survivor's guilt, and he's wrestling with those feelings because he's been, drinking his feelings for 20 years or 40 years or however long it's actually been. So he's like working through that. Gas tank. Yep.
This just raises more questions than I'm... Oh, well, the lights are on now.
All right, cool. So I guess the fridge being cold might have been indicative that the power was only just cut off. I suppose that's a possible explanation.
The fridge will not immediately lose all its power. Or lose all its coldness. Whoa.
Rude. You spend all that time drawing my attention to it, and then you don't let me go in. I don't know what to make of that.
All right, Professor, I have a question for you.
All right.
You're kind of a horror aficionado, aren't you?
Fair to say.
Who's your favorite slasher, movie slasher?
Blocking it. My favorite slasher. There's a lot of good choices, to be fair. I kind of lean Freddy Krueger because, like, he was a little more serious in the first film, but then, like, as time went on, he became, like, this really hammy slasher, and honestly, that adds something for me.
The dream demon that literally is a PDF file that was murdered by a bunch of vigilantes.
Yes. And his favorite thing to do...
Serious? Question mark?
His favorite thing is to just tell stupid jokes as he kills people. Like, it's kind of hard not to find it endearing. Like, Jason has very intimidating presence. He is a big guy. He's basically, like, completely without fatigue. And, like, yeah, that's scary. If I was being chased by that, I'd be worried too. Full of rocks and construction debris. Cool. Clear the grounds from the camp. This is where I got the flashlight. I shouldn't be here.
Honestly, this is going to sound goofy for me.
Sure.
I don't even know if it really counts. If it was for me, and we're not going to say things like the cinematic masterpiece that is Trolls 2, I would probably say the very first Leprechaun. Because Warwick Davis is, first off, like, even in the Leprechaun film, like, the human characters are trolling the snot out of the fairy. And like actually the reason why things get as bad as they are is because they basically make a fool out of him like the whole time.
You know what? All fair.
It's like it's not taken seriously at all, which I think is like exactly the way that you should, treat like a thing like, oh, here's a leprechaun. Ah, they're after me, pot of gold. Oh crap, they did get me, pot of gold. Well, I guess they're going to find out.
Cause like, see, here's the thing. Like, my beef with like the likes of like Jason or Michael. Are they imposing? Sure, absolutely. But the thing is, they don't really have a personality to call their own. And the thing is, because they have no personality to call their own, you are kind of left with the non-slasher human characters to pick up the difference.
I get that.
And so,
and
like,
I mean, to be...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, my personal favorite, honestly, is more with like monsters, like Alien or The Thing.
Right.
But that entire thing is honestly is less about it's less about the threat being a character and more of it like figuring out the rules of how it works.
Fair.
And then the characters bouncing off each other with this like unknown, like threatening them.
That's fair.
I think the thing like does this masterfully, especially when the doctor realizes exactly how it works, and it's like, oh my god, we have to like test everyone now.
Yep.
And that's when they start doing the blood tests and everything.
Yeah. Like they do a bit of that in Predator, as well.
Yeah.
Because like when he realizes that the Predator is there for the thrill of the hunt, and like he's just like, don't grab the weapon. He won't attack you if you're unarmed, because it's not worth his time. Yep. So it's like, oh, well, there you go. Like, it has rules that it has to play by. But honestly, that makes it way more interesting.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you got to have a break in tension somewhere along the ways. It's either, like, the main characters get some kind of tool or information they can work with, or you need a villain who themselves is the comic relief. And that's why, Mr. Fingerblades is a very entertaining villain. He has a big screen presence, and he's like making stupid jokes about how he kills people. It's like, that's funny. I can't help it. It's funny.
Was it the third film where he literally took out one of the characters by transforming her into a roach, and then he just squishes her?
Yeah, something like that. Water's really still.
Man, those films got crazy.
They got really zany. Like, there was the Dream Warriors, where like they attempted to use like lucid dreaming against him. It's like one kid makes himself into like a comic book hero, so Freddy turns him into a piece of paper and feeds him through a shredder. Goofy stuff like that. Like, it's like, that is entertaining. That's funny. It isn't macabre, sure, but it's funny. It's not my fault. Like,
okay,
this is where I got screamed at.
This is actually kind of related. We had a very young intern. He literally he's a little bit older than Jimmy is. Jimmy, right. For those of you, he is actually a character. He's about 9 to 13 years old.
Wherever we kind of need him to be, a certain level of naivete.
But my intern, he was a little bit older, but then I had to explain to him how to use a shredder. And then I just kind of chuckled to myself, and I'm like, you've never actually seen Gremlins 2, have you? And he's kind of cocked his head. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, sit down. Let me tell you a story.
Regale you with a tale of wonder.
This is the reason why you don't put your fingers into the shredder.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, most modern shredders have like a safety catch, but don't rely on that. That's your emergency backup plan.
Yes, and don't definitely, but most of them are not big enough that you're able to take a Muppet that's trying to eat your face and
slam it in the shredder.
Yeah,
these are really.
I mean, even in the 1980s, you have to wonder if like this is like, how did that guy like do that? Because what type of Mondo shredder do you have?
Some kind of like industrial grade thing, I guess. More like a metal
You
eater
got
than
like
a paper
secrets
shredder.
in there. You're like, quick, Beverly, shred everything.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I mean, not gonna lie, that entire complex in the second film was actually really, really high tech. It
It
would have been like
was.
bleeding edge at that point.
More than that. That movie pretty much like predicted the rise of smart buildings.
Yeah, it did.
And like that's an interesting thing. The Gremlins, like Gremlins 1 is ostensibly like a dark comedy with some horror elements. The second film knew it couldn't outperform on the same terms. No, not again. Oh, it's a beer. I couldn't even tell what it was when I first clicked it. Like the second
Oh,
one.
don't. Come on, man. Come on, man. We need, I'm not even drunk Taku right now. Somebody's got to be drunk here.
I know, right? But like they knew that it couldn't compete on the same level that the first film did. The first film was, despite its supernatural elements, a fairly human story of like these people dealing with the stress and trauma of dealing with these little Muppet monsters. And there's even like this really dramatic bit where the girl talks about how she learned Santa Claus wasn't real, was her dad slipped and fell down the chimney and broke his neck.
I honestly like the fact that they never really explain, apart from like the rules of how the Mogwai exists. They don't like, this is where the Mogwai came from. They were aliens. It's like it's just a strange creature that just comes from some place.
Do not read the novel.
Oh no!
Because the novel gives a really stupid explanation that makes it significantly worse. But to punctuate,
why do you do this to me?
To punctuate my initial thought, though, it was a question of they knew the second movie could not just redo what the first movie did, so it didn't try to. Instead, it's like, let's just make it a spoof of the first film.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, literally, they have sections in the second film where they rag on the first one. They have, it's like Siskel and Ebert actually are there, and they're like, Gremlins is kind of bad. And then the Gremlins the new Gremlins show up and like, drag them off.
Yeah, and there's like a bit where like one of the guys at the Weather Channel part of it is like, but what if they're in a plane? It's midnight somewhere. What if they're like eating on the plane and you go over a time zone and suddenly it's after midnight? And they're like ragging on the rules of how the Gremlins are supposed to work. It's like, that's funny. That is a brilliant idea. They knew they couldn't do the same thing a second time, so they didn't. And it honestly made for a really, really good sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for that novel, let me tell you something.
I'm just letting you know, Professor, I am not tracking down a 30-year-old, tie-in novel, so I can do a book look of it. I'm just telling you right now. I've tracked down some stupid books for you, and for myself, I am not doing this.
So I have not even read it myself. I got the exec sum. I want to say Roanoke Gaming talked about it in passing. He does like horror stuff and like, if this creature was real, how would it function if it was bound by physics and biology and stuff. Really good stuff. But according to the novel, the Mogwai were created in a human laboratory so that they could be humankind's space ambassadors. And their mission was to get launched out into the stars when we ever met intelligent aliens, apparently. It is every bit as stupid as it sounds. I may not be remembering that perfectly, but oh my god, it was such a dumb explanation.
Why are they hanging out with a creepy Chinese bootleg
where
guy?
It very clearly is supposed to be implying that their origins are mystical in nature and not?
Yeah, it seems to be like they'd be, didn't he mention that they came from the Tibetan plateaus and the Himalayas?
Yeah, somewhere up
that?
in the mountains, where there's lots of caves for them to hide in and stuff, because they would need to hide during the day.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you can't hear it, and maybe it's for the best that you can't, but there's been this piano player following me around, banging on the high pitched keys, and every now and then it fades out. Every now and then it fades out, and then it comes back and da 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 da. It's like, oh my god, go away! Why?
Hero was expecting like a pwee, pwee, pwee,
No,
pwee,
no,
pwee,
not
pwee, pwee.
no, not like it's just like this really cacophonic da 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 da. And it's like, bro, stop! Nothing has happened. Like nothing's happened for a while. I don't. Let's start going behind some of these buildings. I'm kind of running out of ideas.
Is
I'll
this
be
the
honest.
case? Is this a case where after having been a drunkard, Mr. Main Character here is he's taking methamphetamine.
You know,
It's like I'm wigging out.
losing it. Yeah, no, that's what it feels like. I'm just gonna kind of check the perimeter. Like, I'm keep circling between, like, the same 5 buildings, and I keep expecting there to be more, but, like, I keep hitting the same dead ends. See, like, it's a small play area. I get it. It's like a lot of the times a game dev will be like, I'll give the player a small area to play in, so that, like, it's impossible for them to miss where they're supposed to go. But
Right.
then at the same time, depending on how these things are formatted, I could be missing, like, a pixel hunt. I could be missing...
The irony of the fact that we were just clowning on the entire, like, I don't know where to go. We were joking about that right before, because it's about oh, I don't know where to go, they don't have a yellow marker to show where I need to escape with. It's like, oh, and this is exactly what we're complaining about now.
Busted radio. Like, I've been in the same buildings, like, over and over again. Like, I started the generator, the lights are on in some places, and, like, yeah, that's better. We are making tangible progress. Like, it's showing, like, we got the jump scare, we got the gas can, and that's where it was kind of setting up the whole, like, survivor's guilt story beat. We got the generator going, and now, like, the first thing that happened is I walked up to this door, and this light burst. That immediately commands the player's interest. Like, oh, clearly I'm supposed to go in here, but it's locked. So then I try the next building
I guess
over.
what you need to do is you need to find a key then.
And this one has, like, it's a table shoved in front of the door. Because, like, you can look through the window and, like, there's just, like, a table there.
Could we use the crowbar then, maybe?
For prying things apart. There has not been a prompt yet for, using items out of my inventory. Like, the only times have been contextual. It's like when I clicked on the generator, it gave me the prompt to pick an item. I haven't had that come up again. Because... zoom, pan, tab... No, like, it's like, I don't even have a use option in my inventory. That doesn't seem to be how it's supposed to work.
I guess it literally is just a case of whenever the game decides to let you use it.
It seems that way? Like...
Man, I hate when games do that.
Possible that I'm just, like, overlooking something, and, like, now that the lights are on, it's supposed to be, like, this is where I got the crowbar from. So I actually, like, I saw it laying on this cloth, and I actually thought it was like a little doll or a puppet or something. So the crowbar looked like it was an arm, and so then I got the crowbar, and
That would make it a wild arms, if you will.
arms found in the wild. Checks out. Empty but freezing cold. I can't even interact with that.
Man, whatever happened to Wild Arms?
Sony happened to Wild Arms.
Man.
Sony quit caring about any of its major franchises, and then the PS3 happened, and they basically just... They went full stupid and never looked back. TLDR.
Oh, man. I love how, like, it's been for 3 generations, and the entire time people have just been clowning on the PlayStation for not having any games. And it's still been true. Oh, guys, no. This cinematic masterpiece is definitely gonna, be the thing that everyone wants to do, and it's gonna revolutionize gaming.
Yeah, Western game devs think gamers want movies. And then, like, back in the aughts, like, going even a little bit into the 10s, you had Japanese game devs thinking that everyone wanted Western games. And, like, sometimes that was good. That got us Dragon's Dogma and Mega Man X8.
Dragon's Dogma is good. Mega Man X8 was good.
Mhm.
Dante was bad.
Yeah.
And Castlevania Lords of Shadow was very bad.
Like, Castlevania
Oh
didn't
boy,
need a
guys.
reboot. Like, here's the
I, sh-
thing. You know the funny
I
thing
sure
about
do.
that is, they didn't even need to reboot it or retcon it. There's this game. It's called Circle of the Moon. And the entire point was like Dracula could only resurrect every 100 years. That was his limitation. In Circle of the Moon, Camilla was trying to enact a ritual that would allow him to just come back whenever a sufficient sacrifice was offered.
They totally wouldn't. There is a huge opportunity that they're never going to do now.
What's that?
Because Ega doesn't exist. Ega doesn't exist. He can't. Ega's not real. He can't hurt
He
you.
just faded out of existence.
Ega's right behind me, isn't he? Order. The Millennium War.
Oh yeah, the 1999
Where,
war.
Yeah, where they literally stuff Castlevania and Dracula into the moon. They mentioned that it happened and it totes happened, but like how did this happen? This is huge.
Yeah.
To banish you, literally, you're like, get out of here, Dracula. No one likes you. I am the Lord of the Night. Well, you can stay there. Oh man.
And like, here's the thing: Circle of the Moon was declared non-canon for years. So like, the thing that would have fixed the thing that the Castlevania devs said was the issue, they already had an out. They literally already had an out, and they declared it non-canon. And then years later, I think it was one of the last things Iga did with Konami, was declare that Circle of the Moon was back in continuity again. So like, you didn't even need to reboot Castlevania in the first place. You literally fixed the problem.
I mean, honestly, I feel like at a certain level, Castlevania is kind of just too messed up.
I mean, the biggest
point,
thing was its incredibly non-linear storytelling. Like, if you look at the series of events, you have like PS2 game, NES game, NES game, Super Nintendo game, but kind of, sort of, not really, because that's a remake technically. So, it gets to be such a CF.
Sega Master System for some reason.
Which is like the forerunner to a DS title. And so, like, yeah, it's a huge mess. Like, there's no good way. Like, it would require someone who's already a hardcore fan to interpret what the timeline's supposed to be. And if you're already a hardcore fan, you probably don't need the timeline anyway. It's like, yeah, the storytelling's a bit of a mess, and every director who came along wanted to have the first Belmont, which is, like, why a lot of the storytelling happened in, like, reverse. Because, like, Simon was like, oh, well, Castlevania's going to be Simon's... Wait, hang on. I've not seen this little campfire zone before. Hang on. Embers of Faded. There's got to be something here. Like, I'm so out of ideas. It has to be here. Right? Like, it just has to be. There's nowhere else to go. I've checked everything else.
You're getting a notification for something over there.
Yeah, I can look at the campfire, and he's just like, oh, the embers are burned out. Broken bottles, the embers have faded. Broken bottles, the embers have faded. How? I checked the dumpster before, but you know what? I'm out of... Wait, another rubber duck? What are you doing here? Okay, is anything behind the dumpster? I'm gonna kill that piano soloist. I'm like, that's gonna become my real mission. Never mind, Madison. You're gonna have to wait a minute, because I have a word or two to exchange with the piano man.
I don't care if you're singing a song. You're the piano man.
You're gonna stop playing.
I'm gonna teach you a new song. It's called "The Sound of Silence." I love that.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
You know, that's where we're at, though. It's like, finding the campfire was like this really big breakthrough moment. It's like, oh, the key has to be here. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like,
you know, the funny thing is, too, is that that's kind of my issue with a lot of 90s dubs. that they won't just shut up.
Yeah, like they really feel the need to like keep yakking. But just
So every single time someone's like, "Oh man, don't you love the Saban dub of Digimon?" I'm like, "No."
like I think like my one beef with the dub of Tamers is the fact that they did that for several characters. Like Calamon in particular was really annoying because of it. Calamon's already annoying on a good day, but like that did not endear me to him.
Also, they got rid of
Wait, the invisible wall is behind the fence?
Excellent theme.
Saban had some kind of weird issue with like the licensing rights for music, apparently was a thing. I remember, I forgot who it was one of like the big Toku guys mentioned how I was crouching, that's why I was going so slow. He mentioned how like some episodes of Power Rangers would use the same music they used in Digimon Adventure. It's like apparently Saban would get the rights for the footage and basically nothing else. Like they wouldn't bother to negotiate music rights. I'm not some like music purist or anything, but I will say the Japanese soundtrack has some really good bangers.
I'm just saying at least for Beelzemon, the Black Wings is like such a good character song for Impmon and Beelzemon, about him being like, I'm gonna be the coolest, and yet he's like, I'm gonna destroy everything and I'm gonna be the strongest, but I'm also really sad that I'm literally pushing everyone away around me. And I'm like, oof, oof, oof. That's rough, buddy.
I found an anomalous fork. It's floating in the air without...
Anomalous fork! Now on Steam for $3.99.
Look, the fork is just floating in space. It is just hovering there. Like, you know, you could have had like Biggest Dreamer is a beautiful song. And was it Anytime Momentai?
That would require Saban to have bought the licensing rights.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys, we can't have a moment of silence in order to make children think. Then they might get bored and not buy the TV, the TV special or the toys. So Calamon's just gonna yak for like the next 3 minutes.
Instead of like letting people have a moment to digest the scene naturally, yeah. I'm gonna try one more lap around this place, and if I don't find it, I'm going to assume I bugged the game. I'm not ragging on the game dev. This might be a me problem. Mechanically, apart from the fact that I am just slow as heck, and the piano man and I are gonna have words after this. But like I was saying earlier, the mentality is if you have a small play area, you don't really need yellow paint. You can kind of just let the player explore, and eventually they'll figure it out. But I kind of feel like I've exhausted every option at this point. Like I don't see cans. Toolbox. That's a very expensive toolbox. Those things go for like a good deal. Like this type of toolbox at Home Depot will run you like $50-$60. I'm just saying. Now, if we get that wheelbarrow emptied, we could do this right, make a killing at the pawn shop. We might be able to split the difference in the whole losing our daughter thing. I'm just thinking, laterally here, because clearly nothing else is going my way. Woodpile. Something hidden in the woodpile? Could that maybe be the angle I'm not taking here? Woodpile seems frustratingly solid. I don't know. I guess my last encounter with woodpiles didn't go all that great anyway, so maybe it's best if I don't. There's the outhouses and their requisite rubber duck. Don't get me wrong, I like it when weird, silly little things like rubber ducks are cute Easter eggs. What? I'm sorry. Hang on. Hang on. So none of these other windows. Those windows are no good. Those windows are no good. Okay, game dev. I have words. I get it. You put these bars on the window. You were trying to tell me something? Fine. But here's the thing. These bars are half destroyed. In real life, I could probably yank that off with my bare hands. If I had hands. I don't have hands. Don't make fun of me. Okay. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Upside. Like, there is a cogent through line. I see the logic here. No bars. Bars. Bars are bad. No bars is good. But seriously, it all blends in. These are all ratty cabins that are falling in on themselves. Like, why couldn't I use the crowbar here? This is even more open than the window is. I could tear that apart. Like, there's more grounds for me using it there than there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I get it. Okay, well, I want to review this since Utaku apparently has exploded. I go up to the door. I go up to that was the other door. I went to the other door. The light explodes, commands your attention. Something's wrong, but the door is locked. So you're like, obviously I need to get inside, but how am I going to go about doing that? Well, the next building over, suddenly you have a use for the crowbar. Congratulations, that makes perfect sense. But why? It blends in. The only reason I even noticed it was even remotely different is because I watched close enough to get the interact text to pop up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I stepped away for a second.
No, I was ranting because I realized you had disappeared, and I was saying, like, there's a cogent through line here. Bars, no bars. Bars, no bars. But look, it blends right in. These buildings are so dilapidated, I would have an easier time tearing this open than this window. But look.
You know, the funny thing is, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was missing all this time. I've been walking around like an idiot for like the past 10 minutes.
If it had been a different color, would that have been better?
Different color or like a different shape? Something to command my attention a tiny bit more? Like, I get it, because like I said, you have the bars on the windows. But the bars are so dilapidated, it kind of looks like I should be able to break them regardless.
Yeah, you would be able to just... Whoa!
Alright, that just happened. Maddie. That looked like Maddie to you? It looked like some kind of, like, bald, angry thing. Like a man-dog thing.
About to say, that looks like one of Dio's creations.
Photo of Madison, what's it doing here? Nothing on the back. Okay.
I just gotta say, Silent Hill was a disaster for Western horror devs.
You know, okay. I get it. I want to put an asterisk to that. Silent Hill 2 was a disservice. Silent Hill was actually incredibly creative in its thinking. But no one wants to talk about that because that one didn't have the nurses with the big boobs. You guys can get salty at me if you want,
fact
but it's
that,
true.
Like, it's very clear that, Pyramid Head is supposed to be... It's very clear
Freudian
that
imagery.
It's like the most brain-dead Freudian, like, hey guys, he's big and strong, and he stabs the big booby nurses. Wow. All right, Ziggy. I'm not even gonna, grace, you and say that you're Jimmy. All right, Ziggy, you have done the metaphor.
I have
Good
to
job.
put her
Have
to
a gold.
rest. What? Who, Madison? Why did we suddenly decide she was our target?
Whoa!
What? Why? I the spider crawling again? What's... Oh, okay, well I get to pick up right where I left off. Why do I have to reload the gun every time?
That is some...
Okay, she's gonna crawl at me, so I'm gonna set a crouch? She just kinda like spawned in there. I didn't really even have time to react.
Why do we need to kill our daughter?
I have no earthly idea. What? Oh, she's gonna teleport around. Okay, we're doing this game. Alright, let me get a swig of water here. Stay hydrated, people.
No. I got some water myself.
Door closes behind me.
Okay.
What? Dude, come on! Give me a second.
How are you supposed to, like, snap around?
Like, what kind of weird... Like, the door shuts behind me, so I can't bottleneck her at the door? So, like, I am expected to engage, which, you know, is fine. I don't object to that. Whoa! Okay, if you kind of hear her, she makes, like, a gurgling sound when she respawns. But, like, why the teleporting? Why the teleporting, though? That's what I want to know.
Once again, gonna point out Silent Hill has like a disaster.
What?
Hard as, and let me guess, this is gonna be all in your head, and you know you were the one who killed her. And
no, she probably died in the car crash. This is an extension of survivor's guilt, so he's still like, "Hey, my God, it should have been me." You know, so it becomes a parallel to. Oh yeah, I got her. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I spent 20 minutes walking around talking about modern horror trends instead of finding you. After a full day of driving, you were just so anxious to get Madison to school, away from you and your self-destructive habits, that she lay asleep. You cracked open a bottle. Yeah, we're going the alcoholic survivor's guilt route. It's one beer. I haven't had any today, and traffic will kill her. If you know you're an alcoholic, why would you bring a beer with you on a car ride? You didn't see the tree until it was too late. Madison was flung from the car and died screaming for help while you were unconscious.
So, yeah, it wasn't even her.
Yeah, this was a coma. Even now, you're in a coma, reliving a nightmare manifested by trauma, past and present. You will never find solace. You will never be free. Trapped forever.
And then they asked, when will I be free? How long do I have to stop the monster? And the answer, forever. 5 ever.
How good do, sir, Titan. Okay, guys. So let me start with, you had decent atmosphere. The whole thing had that very unnerving, dilapidated feel. Good on you. A+. Now, let's talk about break of tension. And there was a lot of breaking of tension, and not in the way you guys probably intended. For starters, I was about to give up before I found that stupid window. I kind of ranted about it already, but like that window was such a hang-up. And on top of that, we also have the like every time we went into a building, there was a jump scare. So like by the second time it happened, I just started expecting it in every single instance. And like I would walk into a building, jump scare. I would get an item. I would proceed to the next building, jump scare, and then I would get an item. And then like that last shooter segment just like demanded this twitch level reflex that at no point in the game has been expected of me. Like, it was cool that I respawned really quickly, so like I wasn't waiting a huge amount of time between restarts. But like, dude, why? Like, if you're going for the Alcoholic Survivors Guild, why have the shootout segment at all? Oh, well, like, you might be saying, oh, well, it's a metaphor. He killed her, so therefore you have to kill her. Like, yeah, but did it have to be, like, quite so annoying about it? Can this character not suffer in a little bit of quiet repose? What you have here is a decent game, but I can already tell just by playing it that you can do better. And so my challenge to you, game dev, is you have a great idea for a game. I don't know if there's multiple endings. I'm going to be honest, just from the experience, I'm disinclined to find out. It doesn't seem like there would be based on context. but I think you could use a really similar concept, make it so that there's multiple endings where the exploration is rewarded a bit more, because trust me, I checked every building incredibly thoroughly and there's nothing to be found except for the anomalous fork. What you have here is good.
I get the sense that the anomalous fork was not intentional.
Probably not. That was probably just a placement error, but like I said, you can do better, and I want to see you do better.
This just makes me think that in your own horror game that you would have to have a summer camp area. It just seems to be like a recurring motif in a lot of this stuff.
No, I mean, it makes sense. You're far away from society. There's no one who can come help you, and the chips are down. That makes sense in the horror context. This was interesting. I'm going to leave a link down below. You guys can play it for yourselves and tell me if there's an alternate ending. Like I said, it doesn't seem like there is. But thank you, Dutaku, for accompanying me and humoring my thoughts on horror as a genre.
No, it's you're welcome. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, like I will say, nothing here was particularly like earth-shatteringly new, but it was executed competently. So I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential. Anyway, This is the Hipster Snek, and we're going to see you guys next time.